Good evening, everyone. It's been almost 25 years that the idea of human beings' health has been slipping away, and no one really is doing anything about it. These two statements got me really thinking, and that was actually a sad moment for me that it dawned completely that the human race is not really bothered about the health of the planet itself, not only their health. The whole idea of food being the most important thing for human existence slipped away, and the concept of business came into the picture, including the food. The scientific knowledge that the human race has garnered in the last 100 years or 200 years or even 300 years should have guided us by now what should be our food and what should not be our food. But it was not meant to be when I started thinking about it and realized that the whole human race is in a very wrong path not to address its most important issue. So, the thinking process of realizing what food is actually, and then understanding that it is meant for all of us to be healthy, not just living with a lot of diseases, but human race is on a big way started producing sick people. In the medical industry, if there is a disease increasing 3 or 4%, it should have been considered as a tsunami. But then when I was a small boy, since then I only kept listening that the diseases are increasing, the number of diseased people are increasing. One side, we claim we are up and above to go and live in Mangala Graha, that is on Mars. But then, if you look at it seriously, most of the people are not able to pass the motions properly in the morning. The whole pharmaceutical industry is making profit just out of one tablet called Dulcolax. It's a laxative. That means the whole world is taking this tablet to pass the stools in the morning proper. So, the basic natural process of cleaning ourselves is not given importance in the human living. So, it should happen naturally. Just morning 5 or 5:30 you get up, before you get up, there should be a signal, go into the toilet, defill yourself and then come out. It should happen all in a matter of 1 or 2 minutes. But then people are doing circus. People drink hot water, people smoke, people have coffee, people go for a walk, halfway through they find themselves in trouble, come back. So, all these kinds of juggling is because we do not know how to clean ourselves. And today, till today, 2017 we are in, the whole pharmaceutical industry is continuing to make profits on the same process. So, a simple thing like cleaning our body, there are 4 means of cleaning our body. One is passing stools, another is passing urine, another is sleeping, another is sweating it out. So, these 4 cleaning processes have to happen properly for us to be healthy. So, most of the food industry, nutritionally, this, that, all kinds of jugglery of words, people are talking in a very unhealthy way, saying that we need proteins, we need carbohydrates, we need fats, we need this, we need that kind of vitamin B12, vitamin B17, this and that, all that is all nutrition. But no one is talking about how do we clean our body on a daily basis. Because food is not just to give energy. It has to have the combination of some adjustment or arrangement to clean the body on a daily basis. So, the concept of food being defined till today is only to provide you energy, nutrition and strength. All these kinds of things are involved, but not even one is thinking about how do we clean our body on a daily basis. So, this cleaning is what makes us healthy. So, if just providing energy and making body and doing some work is not food's only role, the most important role that has to be understood and defined is to clean the body on a regular basis, so that the system remains healthy. So, health in its very simple concept. Of course, there are many doctors talking about health in various different dimensions. That all becomes a kind of intellectual nonsense. For a common man, health is in a very simple fashion put this way, that when you eat something, you have your energy of the day to do various activities, and then when you get up in the morning next day, you have again the enthusiasm to work and not be unhappy about it. So, the simple definition is to be ready to live on a daily basis with a lot of enthusiasm. So, for this to happen, the energy has to come along with the cleaning mechanism of the body on a daily basis. So, if that element of food is not available in what you are eating, then whatever you do is going to give you sickness. So, this is the solid thought process that went in my brain 30 years ago or maybe 35 years ago. Since then, I started thinking about what is going wrong with the food that we are eating. So, we are all what we eat, nothing more. Because small babies become big people by what we consume. So, what we consume has to be good. If that is not good, then a lot of bad things will happen. Apparently, the whole human race has missed the bus in the last 100 years. So, basically we don't know what we are eating. Because what we eat is not cleaning our body on a daily basis. Not only that, we are also eating something that produces sickness, and this aspect is actually problem of the present modern human race, last 50 to maybe 70 years. Because the business part of the human existence entered the world of food. This is the sad story. The sad story began here. And the most beautiful thing that God gives the first day baby when the mother gives birth, the milk, the complete food for the baby that comes out into this world, in itself became contaminated in the present day. Sadly, the milk produced artificially with hormones and lot of chemicals started making the human's health from day one go haywire. To the extent that the young babies, especially girl babies, which is very obvious in their development, should be menstruating at the age of 14, say just 50 to 70 years back, that was the natural to happen. But of late, in the last 15-20 years, the whole human race, the girls are menstruating below the age of 10. In fact, some of the records show age of 6 girls are menstruating, not only in America, Japan, or even in India. So, this problem of girls menstruating, in fact, this is the incident that triggered me of thinking about what is food. When I first America, 1986 or 87, I don't remember, it's been 30 years. 30 years back. When I first met a small baby of 6 years old, 30 years back, menstruating in a hospital environment, mother brought her because the bleeding doesn't stop. And for me, that moment was shaking of my existence. What did we do? Here we are, in the name of science and progress, making a small girl menstruate at the age of 6, and no one cares. No one really cares about this incident. Since then, millions of girls have menstruated below the age of 10, all their childhood robbed off. And for me, that was it. I mean, this is the ultimate nonsense that human beings can create on this planet. And it just rolled the whole ball rolling, and then realized that we are all going in a completely wrong way. The production of food, the choices of food, the way we are eating, the way we are doing things, it is amazing. And we are all very naive not to think of all these things. So, can you believe these big corporate companies have made it a very, very successful habit of making all of us believe that what they do is for our well-being. Starting from the milk, water. The way we drink water has changed in the last 30-40 years. Water has been now pumped in all plastic tubes, stored in plastic, distributed in plastic, transported in plastic. And the naturality of water running in streams and not having any chemicals in it has disappeared in the last 40-50 years. So they keep claiming that they have clean water in your water bottles. This water comes along with nanoparticles of the plastic, which are completely non-degradable, goes and coats your small intestines where absorption of nutrients have to take place. Absolutely, step by step, slowly and steadily, the nutritional values of what we are eating is not being completely absorbed. Selenium, zinc, copper, these micronutrients have been robbed off because of drinking this soaked plastic water on a regular basis in the last 40-50 years. So the immediate result is you start losing hair. The whole world, the Americans, Europeans, many of the people have started losing their hair in the last 30-40 years. And then you come to India, in the last 15-20 years, we have also gotten into the same habit of using this plastic water, and we also started losing hair. Young boys, instead of losing Hair at the age of 50, 60, started losing hair at the age of 20, 30. Another terrible thing is that women becoming bald is actually genetically not possible. 1 in million happen to have this bald head, but then in the last 20 years, it has actually been calculated, it is now 1 in 1,000 women are getting bald. See, even that kind of changes we are able to bring in the human existence because of unmindful, unscientific way of just drinking water. So, what do? Forget about food. We have screwed up the baby's food, not only baby's food, milk. Most problematic thing is that in foreign countries, the toilet training is a big problem. They started having wrappers of these plastic diapers. The baby almost 10 hours, 20 hours in a day is with the diapers. So the plastic content not only is going through mouth, going through the back and rear ends, started playing havoc with the health of the babies. Not at all bothered. No one cares, because it is the plastic companies that are deciding what is good for you and what is not good for you. And can you believe that now Bangalore has a problem of these diapers on the roads, and you find them in the stomachs of many of the animals. No one cares. No one really cares. What do we do? What are we doing? These milk companies keep injecting hormones to produce more milk. Each and every cow has to give 10 to 20 liters because they are interested in doing business, and they don't care what they are producing. On top of it, the doctors come and keep bombarding each and everyone, saying that milk, complete food, you have to give your kids. For heaven's sake, the milk digesting enzyme gets switched off at the age of 4 in human beings. That means no human being needs to drink any milk at all. It is mother's milk that we should be drinking, not some other animal's milk. Cow gives 1 or 1.5 liters milk to satisfy the needs of its baby, and if something is left, human race in the olden days used to ferment it into curds with the lactobacillus, and then especially used to have buttermilk and then butter and then ghee, whatever was left. But now, Bangalore alone, and 10 lakh liters of milk on a daily basis. Where is it coming from? It's all unnatural. It is laced with oxytocin, estrogen, and some more chemicals. So, the babies are fed this milk on a daily basis from 2nd month or 3rd month, because mothers are discouraged not to give milk to their kids because this milk is in large quantity. Can you believe this nonsense? But this is what is happening. That actually indirectly produces troubles for the lactating mothers, because they are stopping their milk production unnaturally for some various reasons, and they get breast lumps, some getting converted into cancerous, called malignant tumors. All these things are happening right under our nose. No one cares and no one talks about it. So many women getting breast lumps, which are 50 to 70%, these doctors declare as malignant and start removing the breast. Then these tumors appear elsewhere, and then they transform it into cancerous conditions. Then you have chemotherapy, you have radiotherapy, you have this therapy, that therapy, and then ultimately it will metastasis into various other organs. This whole thing is now converted into billion to trillion dollar business. The same thing like feeding babies naturally has been stopped. For what reason? Because these guys are producing enormous amount of milk. Can you see this vicious circle of business entering into our natural, beautiful way of giving food to the mother? Giving this milk comes along with colostrum, an antibody produced in the mother's milk, filling the baby's body to see that the babies have immunity for certain period of time till they produce the antibodies in their. For that some time is required because the bones have to develop, produce the immunity within the body. So till then mother's milk is loaded with this kind of wonderful mechanisms. But then in the name of science, in the name of producing more milk, the so-called biotechnology, and everyone is made to believe that milk is very good for us, and the whole world started drinking milk. Not only the babies, the elder people also said, till you die you can drink milk. The milk you drink, in fact, hundreds and thousands and lakhs of kids are suffering because of this unnatural milk being taken into the bodies. They suffer immunity problems, that is coughing, sneezing, ear pain, so many problems. So, in the last 15 years after I came back, I have been encouraging all kids, mothers and fathers to stop the milk. I couldn't believe the effect of stopping the milk. Many kids suffering from various ailments become all at a sudden within 6 weeks completely all right the moment they stop drinking this unnatural milk. Completely. Absolutely no problems. The mothers start saying that they have started sleeping in the night. Not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Thousands of families. In fact, in the last 15 years I have started giving lectures. Wherever I go, I talk about this. And the moment mothers stop giving this plastic milk, I call this plastic milk because everything is transported in plastic. In fact, in the early stages, they were transporting in milk. All of a sudden, it became inconvenient. They switched to plastic. So now, 15, 20 years, the whole world is running on plastic containers. Everything is transported in plastic. Only thing that cannot be transported in plastic is fluoric acid. And that everything is now transported in plastic. Such horrible effects it has because these plastic nanoparticles are absorbed, not chemically, they just absorb. In fact, so sad that nowadays Ayurveda industry is also transporting their churnas, vasmas, all this, including honey, is transported in plastic bottles. So the medicinal effect of the medicine is absolutely out of the window, and we are actually getting the sickness being transported into your tummies even through the medicines. This is the sad story of business entering into the world of food and medicine. And no one has any objections because all these authorities are being completely bought by the corporate offices. So no one cares, no one questions. Water, milk. Then comes the most dangerous thing that has happened in the last 40-50 years is the diesel industry, that is oil, higher octane, that is beyond carbon 8. You have it as diesel and petrol. and the lower carbon units like hexane, butane, pentane. It's an oil called mineral oil, very transparent, very clean, but not be used as petrol or diesel because it cannot burn and give enough energy. So it's not efficient to burn. So they produce almost 30 to 40% liter to liter. So if they produce 10 liters, 3 liters of this mineral oil is produced on a daily basis in these oil rigging stations. So all over the world, because of diesel and petrol consumption increasing exponentially, they also started getting this mineral oil left over. So they had to find some use for this. So it's a waste, but they don't want to throw it. So they started making into various chemicals. And that's how all these chemicals started appearing in our world. So it is the waste management of this corporate culture that has created all these problems. Can you believe this? It came so suddenly in the decades of 70s and 80s, and then it has transformed all our life into sick. Because that has found itself, this waste has found itself in various forms, to the extent that it has displaced all the oil that is used in the world which were natural, be it groundnut, be it olive, be it coconut, be it sesame seed oil, be it mustard oil. So many various oil products were found in various parts of this world, our planet. So different people, different geographical conditions, different varieties of oil seeds were produced and small amounts of oil extracted using local techniques. And all this oil is wonderful for the growing babies because we needed the fat content of the plant-based, plant origin. Those were the building materials of our internal organs made of completely fat, including the brain, the liver, the pancreas. A lot of it is made of fat material. So this fat material, when we were growing up, the kids needed these wonderful natural oils. Then all at a sudden we find this being displaced by these mineral oils and the chemicals. Whatever oil you want, they add that color and the consistency and the flavor is produced synthetically in the labs and started being added to this mineral oil. This mineral oil is not only the basis of many other chemicals, but also is displacing our natural oils. And then we all at a sudden found millions of liters of this oil sold in different forms. Be it coconut oil, be it mineral, all olive oil, any oil you want, we will produce, give the color, the consistency and the flavor. So in the name of oil, all of us in the world are now consuming this mineral oils. And you know one thing, these mineral oils are making our intestines hydrophobic. Our intestine, small intestine should be always hydrophilic. That means where absorption takes place, it is all through water. And these mineral oils are not hydrophilic, whereas the natural oils are hydrophilic. This is the basic difference. So, see our wonderful scientists and corporates have done. So, the most important part of our growing up now has been screwed up. Forget about the food. To be healthy, we should be eating all ingredients nicely stuffed by God in various forms, food materials. Instead, now what have we become? We are drinking plastic water, we are taking plastic oils, we are drinking plastic milk. I have not come to the food as such. You will start seeing the effects of this so profoundly that young boys and girls do not have hair. And young boys and girls started having hormone imbalance even before they grow up. In fact, it was very sad for me to receive a call from America. A young boy, 8 years old, started having pubic hair and started behaving very different. Because his whole system is screwed up because of this hormone imbalance. And many of the women find it very difficult to manage this hormone imbalance. In fact, it is very bad on my part to say this, but I have no other choice other than saying this. The beauty parlors, number of beauty parlors, suddenly you find increasing in each and every country. The reason is very simple, that the hair on your chin and mustaches appearing has started increasing because of the hormone imbalance. This is a direct proof for all of us that what we are doing is completely unnatural, that no one wants to notice it. No one wants to notice it. These are all the peripheral things that have started disturbing the human health. And no one is interested in talking about this or doing anything about this. And slowly and steadily you start entering the domain of food. You will see what kind of advertisements that are going on. Now here in one side, Shah Rukh Khan comes and asks us to drink Coke. Another side, Amir Khan comes and asks Pepsi. I think it's other way around or something. And then says thumbs up. And then this is foreign drink, this is Indian drink, another confusion. But all these guys are selling not Pepsi, not Coke, not thumbs up, not this, not that. They are all selling nothing but sugar in a 100 ml water, 40 to 45 grams. So now comes the main problem of sugar. It is the sugar that is the most addictive thing on this planet for human race. Or we produce the name of producing sugar, the human race actually is producing liquor. So to produce liquor, we civilized human societies call it as sugar industry. What is the role of sugar in our digestion? This is where the most horrible thing has happened. Because they started producing sugar as byproduct for liquor industry, they started pushing sugar in each and every, to the extent that no scientist, no biochemist, no nutritionist, no doctor, no one till today has said sugar is the main problem of human race. Sugar is the main problem of the human race. I want all of you to understand, this is the most disturbing thought that everyone should entertain on a daily basis, because we have been brainwashed by all this. Because growing sugar preparing sugar on this planet Earth has been the essence of corporate. Because to produce 1 kilo sugar, you need to provide 28,000 liters of water. To produce 1 kilo of sugar, 28,000 liters of water. How much? 28,000 liters of water. So to produce 28,000 liters of water, you need to build dams. See the connection. So humongous amount of work goes on to build these big dams in the world. Because slowly and steadily human beings start doing agriculture based on water. So they also slowly found if we can give water, we can produce more amount of rice or wheat, because when you have waterlogged system based agriculture, you can then slowly dump the fertilizers. Once you give fertilizers, instead of producing 5 quintal to 8 quintal on a dry land, I can produce in 1 acre 20 to 35 quintals of food. So this became the mantra of all the scientists. So now, because the human beings are multiplying exponentially, we need to find food for growing population. This is the base life. So every scientist, and all are, who are these scientists? They are trying to convert this waste product into various chemicals. So the fertilizer industry comes to existence to find a means of converting these chemicals. In fact, in between something else has happened. There were wars. World War I, World War II. In fact, even the World War bombing materials started being made out of this chemical. And then once bombs are made, the war is fought, the material is left over. That materials started finding slowly being turned into fertilizers. You have slowly connections happening. These all things have happened in a matter of 10 to 15 years. In the decades of 1930s to 60s or in that range. See, all these things are happening, we are not aware of it. So the fertilizers started appearing, and then wheat and rice, waterlogged agriculture started increasing in the world. So the moment you started growing rice, wheat and sugarcane in large quantities, started building dams, providing water, it became very interesting. Because to build dams, you need technology. You started bigger and projects. So lot more money involved. So the governments, the politicians, and then mining came to, because you needed iron to build these big dams. So lot of technology, lot of excitement, lot of chemistry, lot of industries. It is growth. Then these people found all these wonderful words and means basic facilities we are providing. We need transportation, we need roads, we need this, we need that. For everything, started exploiting the nature, started mining. So all these things are connected. And the war, the bombs, the fertilizers, You see the transformation of one to the other. So, the left out materials of one industry becomes the raw material for the other. So, I need to fight a war. Once I fight the war, I am left out with something which I would convert it into fertilizers and say, oh, growing food. So, see, we have produced an enormous amount of food. You all can do. So, let's do business. So, this so-called developed countries start baiting the so-called underdeveloped and developing countries, saying that we give you this technology, you take this, then starts. So, all these big things are happening. And basic principles, food and health are just thrown away. So, you started producing food, thinking that it is food, waterlogging. Once you waterlog, you need fertilizers. Once you use fertilizers, monoculture of these crops. Once there is monoculture, you have diseases. Oh, no problem, we have pesticides. See the connections, how these things are happening. Wonderful connections. All are excited. Wow, we are increasing the yields, 20 quintals, 30 quintals. Wonderful, give him award, make him Nobel Prize, oh another prize, another prize. So we are all taken completely into a different zone and different world, we are in a different dimension. But we have left something very important, that is health. Everything became business. How milk became business, bombs became business. Pesticides, fertilizers, minerals, everything, even water, oh, we have wonderful, oh, this water, that water, RO water means. And then comes this entertainment business, these stars, this so-called sports converted into business. All at a sudden, sports stars start appearing on your TV screens, telling us what to do, what not to do. Amitabh Bachchan comes. No dad is necessary, no mom is necessary, you can make noodles in 2 minutes. What a wonderful catchline. Wow. All the kids fallen for these noodles. Chocolate, anywhere, anytime. Tendulkar comes and says, what? Wow. Everyone starts eating chocolate. Milk, complete food. Doctors having a white coat come and start advertising. Wow. See these wonderful things happening, huh? Everyone is promised lands, lot of money, everyone has to consume. All over the world, now everyone starts eating rice, wheat, milk, sugar. So the whole world now, exactly. So we are all excited because these developed countries, in the name of technology, what are they actually doing is, this technology is holding everyone. It is this technology, it is not the milk that they are selling us. The pasteurization technology, it is the plastic that they have created, they are selling us. They are not selling water, they are selling the plastic. They are not selling Pepsi or Coke, they are not selling anything, they are selling the sugar. Because the sugar is produced in millions and millions of, just Karnataka alone produces 4 lakh tons per year. Maharashtra produces 6 lakh tons. The whole world produces 28 lakh tons of sugar. And believe me, we don't need single atom of sugar going into our molecule, not atom, molecule of sugar going into our body, because human digestive tract is designed to produce and absorb sugar from this world's natural food materials. Here I would like to talk little bit of science, though may be boring for you, but it is very important for us to understand this wonderful process of digestion and its raw material. What is the food? The food. I hope you are all understanding the process, how it has happened. So, how we are hoodwinked, completely hoodwinked. So, what goes into the mouth first goes into the stomach through this esophagus, and then you have a small endocrine gland called pancreas, also called ductless gland, and you have liver, and then you have gallbladder. Then you start the big intestine surrounding the small intestines, long and winding 30 to 40 feet. So whatever goes into the stomach, and the gastric juices from the liver, pancreas, all things start digesting. And there is a physical movement of the stomach and all the nerves involved, and whatever goes into our tummy has to be hydrolytic steps, a series of hydrolytic steps. That means water is added and the big chains of polysaccharides are divided into smaller and smaller and smaller, and then totally at the end of the day, when it reaches small intestine where it is to be absorbed into the bloodstream, sugar is converted to glucose and fructose. And this glucose entering the bloodstream is the source of energy for us. C6H12O6 goes into the cell with the help of insulin, a hormone produced by the pancreatic cell, beta cells, and the oxygen in the blood burns the glucose, gives carbon dioxide plus water. While doing that, it also gives energy, which is trapped by a molecule called ATP, which is like a battery. And now wherever we need to use energy for our living activities, be it sleeping, be it walking, be it talking, be it fighting, be it running, be it sitting, everything requires energy, and that is the energy. We burn glucose in the presence of oxygen, gives away carbon dioxide and water, energy is released. And how is this glucose made on this planet? First time. It is just the reverse process called photosynthesis, which happens on every green leaf on this planet. That is chlorophyll. Here, this is happening because of hemoglobin. Hemoglobin and chlorophyll are exactly same, but for iron and magnesium being different. See the connection. The blood in the animals and the chlorophyll in the plants are exactly the same structures chemically, but for the mineral, that is magnesium makes it chlorophyll, iron makes it hemoglobin. So it is such a wonderful thing to figure out that chlorophyll does just the opposite. It absorbs carbon dioxide from the atmosphere in the presence of water, absorbs sun's energy, photon, and then makes oxygen and glucose. And this glucose is converted into various food materials for all living things on this planet, not just for human beings. All living things on this planet get their living material called glucose in various forms. It becomes polysaccharides. Jackfruit, you have different, in ragi different, in mango different, in greens different. So everywhere there is some amount of glucose, not as glucose, which is converted into polysaccharides. So glucose and fructose, glucose and fructose, glucose, rather big chains are made. So you have polysaccharides. Then that is what we eat in the complex carbohydrates with various other materials interwoven. In each and every different form of food material, different structures exist. But everything has to be broken down again when animals eat into simple sugar, and sugar getting converted to, in the last step, glucose to fructose. And that glucose again is converted to carbon dioxide and water. So it is this wonderful dance of photosynthesis and respiration that is trapping the sun's energy, making it chemical energy, and again burning it, releasing it into energy. So it is this wonderful dance of photosynthesis and respiration that makes every living thing on this planet run around. So this is the wonderful thing that has to happen in our body, while that organs produce some metabolic waste, toxic materials, and that materials have to be removed on a daily basis. To do that, this carbohydrate is interwoven with fiber, and fiber is again nothing but glucose only, structured differently, which cannot be digested with the digestive enzymes of our canal. So the fiber can be broken down into smaller units but not completely digested. Different animals have different ways of digesting. So donkeys can digest that, but we cannot digest that. So the fibrous materials are there, released into our bloodstream to clean up these toxic materials. So what has actually happened, our body is supposed to be getting daily dose of fiber along with the staple food, which in the last 40 years we have slowly eliminated from our food making system. So the whole human race now has been transformed into not having the cleaning system. And this is the source of diseases. That means we are simply pumping glucose into our blood and not having any other material to clean up the toxic materials that we are producing on a daily basis. So milk, no fiber. Sugar, no fiber. Wheat, absolutely no fiber, 1.2 grams of fiber, that's all. Rice, 0.2 grams of fiber. Meat, absolutely no fiber. Fish, no fiber. So all the food materials that we are consuming, on top of it, these great actors, stars on the advertisements are using all these words, and then they also have the chemicals present. In this maida noodles that we are all eating, the whole world is eating, is actually laced with a chemical called alloxan, which directly is used to stop the beta cells functioning in our biological experiments to produce diabetic condition. Can you believe this? No problem. It is being used on a regular basis now to make all noodles in the world. So now we understand why our young boys, 8 years, 10 years, 12 years, 13 years, 14 years are becoming diabetic all at a sudden. Last 15, 20 years, the young, and then these doctors call it juvenile diabetes, this, but all kinds of nonsense. And then they start saying it is hereditary problem. How is it hereditary problem? Chief Minister gets the same disease, auto driver gets the same disease. The king is also getting the same disease. Swamiji is also getting the same disease. RSS fellow gets the same disease. Dalit gets the same disease. Terrorist is also getting the same disease. All at a sudden, diabetes became hereditary problem. In fact, if you just go back 4 generations, we hardly had any diabetic condition in the whole world. So how on earth all these people are, of course, all of us have come from same father. What kind of nonsense these scientists weave these stories? And then keep calling all kinds of nonsense theories. The simple thing is that all of us, 25% of Indians are already diabetic, and in another 10 years we are going to be 50% diabetic, and they call it hereditary. And they keep continuing to call it as hereditary. This simple logic doesn't exist in these doctors' minds and scientists' minds, and they are scientists, for your kind information. This is absolute nonsense, intellectual bogus, and they call it science. They call this science, for heaven's sake. Simple thing is that we are all pumping sugar brainlessly and without any control into our bloodstream non-stop. Morning, you get up, you have bad coffee. Where did this coffee come from? We have butchered our forests. All mountainous places in the world have been converted to tea or coffee estates. Who did this? The so-called big companies, corporates. They want you, everyone drink coffee or tea in the morning. So everyone is made into addicts, caffeine addicts. Not enough. They cut all forests in the many places and grow tobacco. 36% of the world agricultural lands are used for producing addictive chemicals, be it ganja, be it coffee, be it tobacco, and no problem, you are all getting cancer. Absolutely no problem. We have radiotherapy, chemotherapy, this therapy, that therapy, one after the other. Each one come and give us money. No problem. All this sugar going into the bloodstream, the body doesn't know what to do, because you only need 5 grams of glucose in the whole 5 liters of blood at any given point of time. But in the last 30-40 years, we have been pumping not 5 grams. Each and every time you take a coffee, you give 2-3 grams of glucose. You just eat anything, idli, dosa, or in fact, if you find these Americans and Europeans eating what they are eating, you will be just, it is obnoxious. Obnoxious. Absolutely obnoxious. Tons and tons of sugar pumped in. And what does this body do? Poor body. You needed only 5 grams. In fact, 5 grams of glucose to be converted to carbon dioxide, every fellow needs to walk 1 hour to 1.5 hours. Just 5 grams of glucose, blood glucose to be completely utilized, every human body needs to walk 1.5 hours. So, how much have we put in a day's coffee, tea, 4 times, 5 times coffee, and if you drink one Pepsi or Coke or this, 40 grams of sugar. That means within 2 minutes, you pump into your blood 25 grams of glucose. Adu saldo, we don't have enough, we want sweets. Gulab jamun, Mysore pak, donuts, ice cream, loaded with sugar. So totally Per day I have calculated, simple, very, very poor person also, if you just see their food going in, minimum of 75 to 80 grams of glucose. So if you need 1.5 hours to consume 5 grams of glucose, or consume I mean convert it into carbon dioxide, we have 75 grams. How many hours should we walk every day? Minimum of 15 hours per day. If you walk, then blood doesn't have, that means no one is walking. In fact, in 1950, average human being was walking 18 to 20 kilometers. Now they don't walk 0.2 kilometers. So what is happening? We have tons and tons of glucose left in the blood. So body has to do something to do. So it only knows how to produce cholesterol, how to make triglycerides, how to make rheumatic factor, how to make fat, how to make meat. So it's immediately stopped all the other functions because it is an emergency here. I have to take and emergency all the time. It's not Indira Gandhi emergency that went away somehow. No, this is emergency for the last 40 years. Every human body, every minute is facing glucose is more glucose. Glucose is needed, but how much? We are pumping. Every day pumping, every minute found in large quantities. Oh God, what do I do? Oh, convert this into cholesterol, convert this into triglyceride, convert this to rheumatic factor, started pumping and just throw it away, push it there. So all places. Now you have rheumatism, you have uric acid, you have arthritis, you have triglycerides. No problem. This is a disease. I will give you a tablet. Take it. How long? Lifelong. Because no doctor wants to tell you stop sugar. No doctor in the world till today said your BP. What is BP? Blood pressure. Why did it come? Because sugar is so, blood vessels have been depositing all these materials and the blood is not flowing. The moment you put sugar, more sugar in water, it becomes thick. The blood itself becoming thick, so it is not moving. Oh, pressure. No problem, I will give you blood thinner. Hey, you guys are eating too much salt, that's why you have BP. So all the doctors in the world keep telling because of salt. No doctor in the world says BP is because of sugar. No doctor in the world till today has told the sugar is the main enemy. It is the sugar that is causing BP. It is the sugar, that excess sugar that is making you fat. Everyone started becoming fat. Obesity is another disease. All at a sudden obesity became disease because they don't know what to do with this glucose. Excess glucose becomes fat, meat, then everything became bigger and bigger and bigger. In fact, the same principle they use started making meat on chicken, pigs, cows, billions of cows on this planet now. Because this is not enough feeding you, we will feed the animals and the meat. So all at a sudden, meat eating became very, very important because unless you consume in 8 times more, if you start eating only rice and wheat, we are producing too many things there. They convert it into concentrated forms. So all at a sudden in the 80s to 90s, this meat industry became. So it is pigs, it is cows. And all at a sudden we started having H1N1, H5N1, mad cow disease. Match the following. And then the doctors keep saying, oh, we don't know how to take care of this. These are all infectious diseases. You got to be careful. We will prepare vaccines, no problem. No, keep running, big projects. All at a sudden vaccination industry began. Oh, everyone, before the baby comes out, I have 21 vaccinations ready, one after the other. And to the extent that it is now made compulsory. Do we need all this nonsense? Absolute nonsense, absolutely unscientific, but governments are forced. All these doctors, Health industry they call it, is actually a sickening sick industry. One after the other they start lying, because these guys are all bought up with suitcases in the name of corruption in India, in the name of lobbying in the other countries. No difference. See how simple thing like this has been transformed into this big business profit making. Well, you all become sick, we'll make money. So this is the reason why we are all sick, not God or hereditary. So the simple thing is, food should give us energy, but how? In a slowly and steady form. So glucose has to be completely regulated. Here we have unregulated dumping, and that is your food now. So when you dump something, what it is? It is shit. Am I right? So same thing, if given slowly and steadily, becomes energy. If you dump too much anything, becomes poison. So now we have converted the so-called food into poison. That's why I call sugar, milk, even water slow poisons. So the whole human race has been slowly being poisoned in the name of food, in the name of milk, in the name of egg, in the name of meat, in the name of science, in the name of progress. And no doctor is bothered, no scientist is bothered, no politician is bothered, no one cares. There is mayhem created in the human health and no one cares, and they start making money out of it. So the human heart is pumping this so-called thickened blood. Oh, you have BP. Take tablet, lifelong. I will give you blood thinner, I will dilators. So you have another chemical. Now the body doesn't know what to do with this excess glucose, ultimately puts everything on the hemoglobin itself. That becomes HbA1c. So HbA1c, hemoglobin glycosylated, should be 6. Now because we have so much glucose, after pumping out various things, after having BP, after having rheumatism, if not the other way around, you first get diabetes because HbA1c became 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the blood is completely poisoned. Sugar, glucose is actually life giver, but given in extra and uncontrolled way is the poison. So no doctor actually can just believe how, see, salt, sodium is required to distribute water wherever it is necessary. And just imagine if your wife puts without knowledge second time salt for a sambar, will you eat? You will throw it and go on out and eat. The same wife puts more sugar to your gulab jamun. Oh, Hemavati, very nice. Bring me another one. So, do you eat sugar more or salt more? But then these doctors tell, sugar is the cause of your BP. But no doctor till today tells you it is sugar which is important problem and nothing else. It is sugar, it is sugar, it is sugar. Oh, am I sounding like TV9? Let me say 9 more times. Sugar, 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 sugar. It is the sugar that is making the meat, the chickens, the pigs, and to make this meat in large quantities and faster, we are actually slowly and steadily making the animal feed laced with steroids so that this chicken, these pigs, this grow fast. And doing so, what did we do? We make their bones not grow, meat grow. So if the bones are not growing, there is no bone marrow. If bone marrow is not there, these poor animals cannot fight any diseases. So hence viral infections start happening. So if it is chicken, it is bird flu. If it is pig, it is swine flu. If it is cow, it is mad cow. That's why I said match the following. And no one wants to talk about this. Unluckily, we all thought we'll have some tigers, lions, elephants to show next generations these were the animals that were left in our jungles. But these infections started killing even those animals. We had to close our Mysore zoo for a month. And no doctor, no scientist, no politician wants to admit this. We continue to produce chicken farms, we continue to produce pig farms, we continue to produce. And can you believe this nonsense that human race is doing? We are burning these sick animals and birds in thousands, lakhs, crores of them because they have been having these viral infections. One side we keep burning them because we cannot contain them otherwise. As we speak, the human race is burning this chicken, this pig, these cows, somewhere or the other on this planet. And we are all okay with it. We are all okay with it. Can you believe this nonsense? This is not food production. We are producing sickness in the name of rice, in the name of wheat, in the name of meat, in the name of government is having schemes to distribute these materials as food. Andas, eggs, milk, rice. Why are they so much interested? Because they want to push material. So directly and indirectly, these corporates want all of us to be sick and keep taking tablets. One direct evidence I will give you. On DD channel, a doctor comes and announces, Indians have more heart attacks than Americans. I was shocked. I said, how come even today, though a lot of Indians are eating meat, not like Americans, they consume minimum of 0.75 kilos to 1 kilo meat per day, average. Why? They should have more heart attacks, not us. But the next frame, the same doctor says, the reason Americans take their tablets every day, Indians do not take their tablets. That means he is having sales pitch. Hey, you fools, start taking tablets daily. And hello doctor programs, mushrooming like anything. Come to us, we'll give you tablets. Come to us, we'll give you tablets. What kind of people we are? And simple thing it is here, very simple thing. So you can control glucose entry into your blood systemically I say. So the food that you eat, if it regulates the blood getting glucose, slowly and steadily, not more than 2 grams, 3 grams, 5 grams. So 35 years ago, I realized if we have something going into our mouth which can control glucose entering our blood, takes long time, 7 hours, 8 hours. Then we have the jackpot. This is the ultimate story. So if what goes into our mouth has this wonderful technology of controlling sugar entering the blood system. So it is the regulation of the glucose that is the most important thing for human beings to be healthy. All these guys are thinking of sickness, BP, cancer, diabetes, this, that, all that, and then circus. This is that, I will do this, I'll put this tablet, big technologies. Absolutely nonsense, because if I have the control here, I am done. And then along with it, if I have something that cleans up the whole system daily by day. So what is required? A fibrous material along with it. So now if I have a grain which has glucose, we need glucose, but it should be released slowly. See the design. So now I need fiber interwoven with this carbohydrate, not like rice where so-called fiber is on the top layer. Once you polish, everything is gone, you are left with polycarbohydrate, complex carbohydrates. The wheat, only 1 gram, again gone. So wheat cannot be our food, rice cannot be our food. Of course meat and eggs are no food at all, because they are the last stopgap arrangements that we produce if we have excess of glucose. So the last thing cannot be the first thing. So you cannot eat from the back end. So this is the logic that I recognized 35 years back. So we need to design something, and then can I produce this? God has already produced. And look at the wonderful things that our ancestors did.